Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, good. You're close.
I can't tell if anybody can hear me or see me.
We can hear you.
Oh, Steve's got jokes. It's because I muted myself because I'm right next to my father-in-law's computer. Hold on, I'm going to move.
Yep. TM, I can't commercialize my channel until I have 2,000 watch hours. I'm close, but I don't have it. Hey, Kelly, you have a 5x5, said Steve. And Buster loves you explaining that you can keep quail anywhere. Kelly, you're muted again.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a better spot in the house that's not
So loud.
loud. And then the fireplace is going, so it's also very loud.
Buster says he loves your last short explaining you can keep quail anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I realized the other day that I didn't actually put a lot of my TikToks on my shorts on YouTube. So I started moving them over.
Nubs, I have to see your face. Do you raise quail?
Buster on TikTok.
I can't hear you.
Who's she talking to? Buster on TikTok, that video, I literally stopped reading the comments because people are so mean. Like, and when you go back to watch it, you can, even if you don't want to, you can see the comments pop up in real time at what point in the video they popped up. And people were saying, like, oh, it's a good thing that you can't smell what we're watching, and like all kinds of stuff. And it was just super rude. I was like, I swear some of these trolls come out of nowhere. But like, also, I mean, it's not easy to keep them in your house, but like, I clean the cages like every other day. And I mean, if I need to, I'll clean them every day. Some days I do clean them every day because I have a lot of chicks right now. I have probably, and this is a guess, I keep an ish amount in my head because people want to know how many you can cram in a small space. So I probably have, not counting the like 9 button quail that are in the house permanently, I have like probably like 120 chicks in the house right now. That's a lot. So if only I could figure out how to put them outside, but it's kind of a pain to try and run heat out there, and Utah in the wintertime can be rough too. So I don't have an insulated shed. I have like a box, like a chicken run type box that they go in. So it's like an aviary with cages in it, but it's more like a shed.
Okay, Nubs, I need you to type in the room. You're the one that did the herbs last time, right? Okay. Oh,
yes, this guy. I was hoping when you said herbs, I was like, yes. I wrote down so many notes the last time you were talking.
Say, just an idea. Have you ever thought of cob for your chicks?
Cob? Like corn on the cob?
No. Like clay, sand, and straw. A little bit of water. You mix the clay, the sand, the straw, the water, and you create like, you can make bricks out of it, but it's easiest to just pump together with your hand and slap together. It's probably building materials that you have on site, and it's, if you do it right, you can coat the outside with like a stucco to make it waterproof.
He's
Oh,
talking about to
And
make an outside hutch.
yep. And it's also thermal mass, so it will warm up and keep heat.
oh, because I was gonna say when you said sand, I was like, no, I don't give them sand because they'll eat it. They'll get confused with feed.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no. I'm saying for the hutch itself, or the containment area itself, you could
Well,
create a. Go ahead.
she does like I do. She has them inside the house.
well, I do have some outside because I have a small yard, but mine are
Are
in
you on your
cages.
own
Like,
property?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's my
Because
in-laws, but yeah, we own it. They own it.
if you're able to build is what really boils down to, because she's not able to build because she's in an apartment. But if you have the space to build even a small thing, it would be, yes, cob is like homemade cement. It's a phenomenal product. And basically you can build for literally dirt cheap. No pun intended, every pun intended. But instead of buying materials to create something, you can probably find a clay slick on your property, or be able to find clay extremely cheap by bulk. You'll probably have to process it out, and it's work. So it's not free, it's work. But if you have a little bit of time and a little bit of tenacity, do a little bit of research on YouTube. There's lots of instructional videos out there. And basically, because of the thermal mass, you'd be able to keep your chicks in a barn, I guess it wouldn't be a real barn per se, but, and then as far as heating, if you've got chicks, you can create compost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do.
And then run, what I would do in that scenario is you would either get, depending on how hot you get your compost, I would run PEX or copper wire or copper line, soft copper, and basically just run it through, and it will create a heat reservoir. You put that heat right into the cob, and the cob will retain that heat so that your chicks are in an environment that's warm enough right there at ground level, and you can give them a nice long run, very short, because they don't need a lot of height, but for containment,
That's actually really smart. Because when you were talking about compost, I'm like, oh, yeah, you could. I've heard of people running you would be really good instead of the people that do the show Homestead Rescue. They're the one episode that I love. My issue with them is they use chicken wire. They'll be like out in like the Ozarks or out in North Carolina in the mountains using chicken wire where there's cougars and bears. And I'm like, are you trying to feed the wildlife? Like, come on. But the one episode they did that I loved was in Nevada, and it's a similar climate to us and like Matt, where it's just dry desert, because I'm in central Utah. And
okay.
they ended up with, I mean, they were literally out and just like nothing. It looked like Egypt. And they had these like metal, what are those things called? The semi trucks pull, just like the trailer things.
Shipping containers.
And they ran wire like down or they ran like copper posts or something in the ground. And somehow it made like AC in these metal shipping container things.
Well, that cob that I was talking about, that cob that I was talking about, if you build a pipe out of it, right, have it big, and then bury that pipe at least 2 or 3 feet underneath the ground, put a fan on one end, and put a or just have a door on the other. I'm talking like a 12-inch pipe.
Yeah.
That will run underground, where it cools the air and conditions the air and brings it into your house at literally pennies on the dollar for air conditioning. A little Little babies.
Oh, it's cute. How old is it, Verna? Verna, how
I'm
old
gonna
is it?
say probably 2-3 weeks.
It'll
got
be
its
3 weeks
eyes-
till tomorrow.
I was gonna say it looks like it's got its eyes open, so
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a black
3
broken.
weeks.
See, look at.
oh, how big do the
Whoa.
mommies get? You said they're Havanas, right? They're real small.
They're about, they say 5 or 6 pounds, 5 to 7 pounds. The adults get.
Oh, I love, but my son is obsessed with bunnies. He wants to like get a little jacket for his and take it around everywhere and call it his emotional support rabbit.
Do you want 4 more?
No, I have 2
I have-
males in my house and they are not fixed. And one of them is in love with me. And if I let it out of the cage, it grabs my leg. And
Call him Thumper Humper.
if I get near the cage, it sprays me. So, yeah. And I mean,
Like
it's
me
not
when I
a-
was 13.
my son is almost 9. He'll be 9 in a couple weeks, and it's not exactly how I plan to have those kind of talks. Oh, look
There
at
is
that
a-
one! It's great.
It's a blue broken.
Oh,
Is that a merle, or would that be considered a merle?
A broken.
Just broken.
Yeah, but nobody knows those dog colors. Well, Andy Rabbit might. She knows everything. I don't think they use that term for the colors in rabbits.
Yeah, Havanas, they don't use that term.
Oh,
I
my
think
bad.
you're right though, because I think that Zach at my shire had a dog that color and mentioned it. That's the only time I've ever heard that term.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Nubs, my father-in-law is doing something like that in our off-grid with a pipe, where it I can't remember what he.
it's super
did
smart.
something where
If
he
you're going
put
off
holes-
grid, like, and you don't know about cob, you're cheating yourself, because you can cover hay bales with cob and do a hay bale, or you can just build straight up with cob. Have you ever seen the Earthship houses?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you gotta check out Earthships. Earthships are they're houses that weigh probably 10 times what a normal house is. But what they do is they build with compressed dirt wrapped with tires. So they'll build massive earth and dam tire walls and cover it with the cob or cement, or there you can cover it with multiple different things. But basically they use trash to build houses. And I'm talking like you can build some, because it's all your creativity. So wherever your creativity leads, you can build it, because you're building with junk and just piling junk effectively. And then you cover it and you make it look nice, and you can use the junk itself like glass bottles. You cut 2 bottles in half, attach them with some tape, and then put them in as little windows. So you can create beautiful structure while you're building. Like it's a different building process.
So it doesn't look
it's-
like a hoarder's hole.
No, it's all
'Cause I'm
covered.
like, what is it called again? I'm gonna look this up on my phone.
Earthship. If you're doing homesteading or anything like that, cob and Earthship are like, they're fundamentals. And then another thing that you should probably look up is a Trompy pump. It's a TROMP.
What is that?
A Trumpy what?
A Tromp pump. Yes. What it is it takes water from an elevation, and here, I'll explain it while I show it.
So
I don't have mine completely finished, but you'll get the premise.
This?
Okay,
Looks like
let me get the noise down here. Give me 1 second. that's what I'm looking to eliminate with this Tromp pump. What that
you
was
off grid?
is, no,
Oh,
I'm preparing though. I'm doing testing. I'm doing things on small scale.
you would love one of my customers. He's oh, yeah, no, looks exactly like what one of my customers is doing. He has a school bus with an entire ecosystem in it. He's got like the quail. He just added my quail to it, and he has quail, and the poop goes down into the water, and it filters into his garden and his fish tank. Actually, I think the poop goes to the garden, and then the fish tank water goes to the garden, and it goes through these like special rocks and stuff. It's really cool. And he's got black soldier fly larva in his compost toilet. Like, it's really cool. But it's in a school bus. What region were they in? Oh, he's talking about the Pueblo Indians. I thought he was talking about us. I'm like, oh.
This is my aquaponics system.
That's goldfish.
These are my little goldfish.
Do you eat them? Oh, you don't eat goldfish now. Ugh.
They're big enough
Goldfish
you
is-
could.
Yeah, but who
Yeah,
eats a goldfish?
It's carp.
They're just carp.
Really?
Just get out. Yeah, goldfish or carp.
Yep. This guy I could eat. This guy, he's an edible fish.
What? I can't see what he is.
Are you going to eat him, or you need more of him first?
No, he's my pet.
Oh.
And I see duckweed floating around.
It's that orange thing.
Is that a cichlid?
He's a cichlid? No. Well, they are technically part of the cichlid. It's an Oscar is what he is.
Oh, I thought Oscars were the ones that attach to the side and lick them. The big
No,
the
that
black one.
is a Plecostomus. I have two of those that are about a foot long plus, probably 14 inches each.
So you eat any of the fish, or you just use them for the aquaponics?
Nope.
Oh.
I just use them for my aquaponics, and I have right here. This is pineapple 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I was gonna say, are you allowed to show what you're growing in your aquaponics?
Yeah, we're straight up in Minnesota.
You're in Minnesota. Oh, it's cold there then.
Minnesota.
Yep.
Minnesota.
This is my pineapple. Right next to it, I have a couple of ginger plants growing.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to do that.
Some house plants. Obviously my plants. This is kind of unique though, because I'm using aquaponics in conjunction with dirt.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
So
what
it's a
that's
hybrid.
it's a hybrid system, kind of along the lines of a Kratky system, which basically you put water underneath your plants and you just let it go and you don't ever water it or anything. It's pretty ingenious system. But the Trompy pump, the reason that I came down here is what this is this is a post. This post is going to be removed. And I've got something that will keep the water or the fish separated from the vortex that it'll create. But the vortex is for two reasons. One, it collects water, and two, it collects air. So then that comes down. There's a check valve right there, comes down in, and there's just a standpipe. That standpipe is going to take some of the air out of it and keep it as a compressor, like boom, 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 because the water will want to go up to fill the pipe, but the cap keeps the air trapped, and then it runs into the spiral pipe. From the spiral pipe, it's going to be divided back. I'm going to pull the air off of the system, and then I'm going to pull the water off, and because it's under pressure, it can raise back up to get to the height that my water is at and go into a filtration bed where it'll be filtered out and the fish waste will be taken. And then the air is what actually pushes that water back up. And the air then can be used to oxygenate my system. And all of this happens through just weight displacement and hydrodynamics. Basically, I'm collecting the air to use the air. I'm moving the water without pumps, without traditional pumps. And so what that's going to allow me to do is, on a larger scale, that air and the water can both be ran through Tesla turbines, which in turn would make all of the power that you would ever want. Plus, it oxygenates and cleans your water, so it makes your water it puts your water to an almost drinkable status. And then you recycle your water, anything that you take a shower in or something like that, you recycle that 4 or 5 times, do a little bit of cleaning. You have to change the stuff you use as far as soaps and stuff, because you don't want chemicals in your water at all. But that's just a wise choice, especially if you're going off grid. But it solves like 3 different problems, not to mention you can build your own mini split and you can create heat from that water as well as cool. So it literally solves like a bunch of different problems if you utilize that concept of the water falling and then compressing, because water will always seek the lowest point.
What's your background in?
Construction and landscaping.
Oh, because I was just wondering, like, people that are watching this, are they like, well, I'm not an effing engineer. There's no way I'm going to figure this out. Because sometimes I hear people and I'm like, I can barely use a screwdriver. Like, I don't know if I could figure this out.
Honestly,
don't show that on the screen.
Oh, my bad.
Don't show cancer sticks. Okay, because we have children present.
Fair
but
enough.
You can still talk.
That's not my minivan, but that's some good engineering. If you pull my thing up,
His icon.
no, but nevertheless, I mean, what I'm talking about is it's just thinking outside of the box. It's creating the circle around the box and using what you have to create something better. And if there's one thing I have, it's a brain to think about something better and then apply it.
To at least test it out and see if it's feasible.
Right. And on a large scale, where they came up with the Tromp pump is back in the day, they needed sawmills and they needed grist mills. They needed all sorts of milling, and they needed to power stuff to be able to make stuff. And so somebody came up with the idea of a Tromp pump, and they ran mills in the middle of nowhere, completely off grid. And I mean like 100% off grid. Like they went in with axes and created all this stuff, and they were able to, have mills to cut down. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but if you use it as a good thing, it's like any other tool. So it's great technology. Mine is to a little bit of an extreme because I'm bending pipe and stuff like that. But a heat gun and some hot sand is not outside of the realm of what even you could do at any given time, even in your apartment there. So it's about determination.
Well, me, I have to look at things. I have lots of ideas. Some things aren't feasible for me because of the small amount of space I have. So I have to weigh everything out. Its advantage, which is more important, the advantage or item. I mean, or the space that
Right.
can be used for other things.
See, in a place like that, what I would look into, if you wanted to do a garden or something, like even indoors, I would do vertical gardening, and
I have I
that
have
wall
green
there.
stalk.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is all just thinking it through. That's exactly what you're talking about, is you've got to figure out what, where, who, and how, and the how is the big question. But at the end of the day, if you don't have to pay for, your mortgage, if there is no mortgage, and the house that you built was literally sitting on the land, inside of the land, whether you cut down a couple of timbers and have massive beams, made out of green timber, it's an old way. But you can even do like a living roof. And right there, a living roof, you're talking about maybe $500 for an average size house, and you do it once and you're done. You don't ever have to roof your roof. You're impenetrable to things like hail, wind. You're probably not going to move it, especially if it's low line. So basically it removes the element of, fear from weather attacking you, because you built into the side of the hill. The hill is not going to be taken by the weather. It's just not going to happen. Like, it's going to go right up over your house, and maybe you lose a window or two. You could have lost your house. The rest of the properties around you are decimated, and your house is standing with one or two broken windows that you can probably go recycle from one of the neighbors that lost their damn house. Like,
Right. And not only that, is if you put your animals in the same kind of situation, that they'll be safe during those storms too.
yep, absolutely. And you can build on, like, you don't even have to really, the separation of animals to house, in at least in American standards, it's odd. But if you put in a doorway and then build another structure and have your animals in that structure, and that structure literally has your greens growing and everything else because of the way you've designed it, it's
So
part of the house. Like, and you let your
that's
chickens free range, you let whatever you do, or your quail, whatever you want, it would all free range, and it would all be in greenhouse, and you're creating a living house. And what better than a living house than what you want, a dead house? To me, it just makes sense.
that looks so sweet, Kelly, with your daughter snuggled
Oh.
up to you.
Yeah, she's not feeling good. They think she's gotten pneumonia, which was really weird, because she didn't have like a chest cold before, but when I took her to the doctor, she'd had a fever for like 5 days. And
Plantain. Plantain and mullein.
Eating it or putting it on like your
You can do mullein tea, and I would do plantain tea. She can eat the plantain, but it's more effective in tea.
I'm trying to, both my kids are on the spectrum, and trying to get them to eat any of that stuff is hard. Like, I want to make fire cider, and I think it'll work because you only need a little bit at a time, and I can put it in a medicine dropper. But other stuff where it's like, here, drink this tea, they're going to be like, that's a hard pass.
You can make a concentrate of plantain tea and do the same thing as you're thinking about with fire cider. And not only that, but it doesn't taste. Will they eat salad? Like salad greens?
No.
Just figured I'd ask, because you can add the plantain.
No.
You could add the plantain into food and have them eat it without even knowing. Yeah.
Do they eat spinach?
No.
Cooked spinach?
No. I don't really like cooked spinach though, to be fair. Like it depends what it's in. I don't the texture
Fresh
just
spinach.
yeah.
The
I like
spinach is actually not
it
great for you.
fresh or frozen in like a smoothie, but me and peppermint.
No, but that plantain, and you can also do the same thing with the mullein and do it in concentrated shots, and you can put them together. So it's one shot instead of, so their hard pass is, hey, you're done. All right, good. Go play.
No, cause the wrong type of plantain.
Not the banana.
Andy, I'll try the pineapple fire cider thing. I don't honestly, I guess it depends on, yeah, I still need to do it. I don't want to peel the garlic. That's why I haven't done it yet. Because I'm like, oh, it's going to take forever to peel the garlic.
If you put it into some hot water and let it cool down and then pull your garlic, they'll pop out real easy.
Really? So
Yep.
like boil water, throw it in there, and then let it just cool off.
Let it sit for a minute. Yep.
Another thing you can do is roast the garlic, and then just take a spoon to push out the good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're making fire cider, you want the garlic fresh.
Yeah, that's not different. Well, another thing you can use a fresh plate, and you don't have to peel it. The French plate does it all.
The French plate. I don't know what that is.
I'll show you one.
If it's a fancy cooking thing, listen, that's one of the things
it's cheap. It's cheap on Amazon.
Andy, you smash the garlic and toss it in with the outside on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not? We had somebody do that. We got, I don't know what it's called, where you smash the garlic and then you pour honey over top of it. And they didn't peel the garlic first. But you're supposed to eat the garlic like cloves too. And it was disgusting because it was so sticky, we couldn't get the peel off of it. And then we were like eating out all.
You eat the peel.
That's disgusting.
No, that's where a lot of nutrients.
My nose and like, and honestly, if you have to drink something like a Dr. Pepper just to like get it down,
you're defeating the purpose.
Exactly.
It's a garlic press.
No, it's a French plate. You just rub it around there, and the mushy stuff stay in the thing there, and then
is that the thing you put oranges on, and you do
that?
Do some?
No, it's a plate. It's a plate. You can use garlic and ginger and the fibrous stuff that you
like this. How big is that bump in the middle? Oh, okay.
It's a flat surface.
It's a rough. Yeah, it's flat and it's rough right there. Well, it's got a lip around it to catch all the juice. But all the yucky stuff, you can it stays on your fingers and you can just throw it away.
Okay.
See, that would be a shortcut to making the fire cider, so you don't have to worry about the what you do on Amazon. Just look up French plate.
Okay.
And it actually comes with a little display thing that you put it on.
You could also use a garlic press to achieve the same thing. I've thrown my whole clove in, and it's just a handheld garlic press. They're cheap.
Yeah, I got those too, but I have arthritis in my hands, and sometimes it hurts up my arm when I squeeze things.
I'll tell you, if I had arthritis, one of the things I'd be growing automatically is stinging nettle.
I can't find that around here.
You can't? Man, that's everywhere in Ohio, Verna. It's rarely
not around where I live at.
All you have to do is go down there by the Miami River. You'll find it.
Oh yeah, it's around, guaranteed. It's not
around as much in Utah. It has to be up high where there's a lot more water or in more swampy areas. Like I have not seen it where I'm at. Promise. And I know because I've peed on it before camping as a Girl Scout. I know what that plant is 100%. I could pick it out at anything.
You know, you
Hello,
can eat that
Misty.
plant.
I do. There's a couple forager YouTube channels I've watched and they talked about that.
I ate
The
it
se-
at the wrong time of year, and I couldn't get all the stingers off of it.
You just let it wilt. Once it's wilted, the effects of the stinging is
No,
nullified.
it's the texture of the stingers.
Oh, I gotcha.
Steve.
It was
I
like
normally
eating spinach and straw mixed together.
yeah, that would be about it. No, I take stinging nettle on a pretty frequent basis internally, just because of the nutrient content. It's the most nutrient dense packed plant
But
in
around
North
here,
America.
yeah, but you got to be careful. Doesn't it also bring up metal, absorbs metals?
It'll absorb metals out of your system as it goes through.
I'm talking about out
Oh,
of the
so
ground.
it pulls. It's a heavy metal detox.
I wouldn't say necessarily a detox. I mean, technically, anytime it pulls it, yes. But that's not what you would use it for. If you're looking for purification, parsley and cilantro in eucopious amounts, you can filter.
Cilantro. Oh, no.
No,
Well-
no soap weed.
I can't. No, I hate cilantro.
It
I can
tastes
taste it in
like
anything. And I have a McDonald's palate. If cilantro's in it, I'm like, no.
Parsley then, and you juice
Parsley's
it, or you
great.
put the concentrated juice into a smoothie.
Or you make
And
some tabbouleh and eat some
yeah,
tabbouleh with some cilantro and which is parsley and mint and diced tomatoes.
Because I found out the hard way that like cilantro I know is in a lot of like Hispanic cooking, but I
Mhm.
did not know until I went to an Indian restaurant that they
Oh, yeah.
also use it heavily in Indian food. I'm
Yep.
just so excited about this dish, and I'm like, oh, yum, yum, yum. And I take a huge bite, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I like gave it to my husband. He's like, it's got cilantro. It's so good. I'm like, I am done with dinner. You can have it.
Do you know why that is?
No.
Because a long time ago, there were, and you can fact check me. Like this is straight up history. There was a people group known as the Nagas, and the Nagas came from Maya, and they populated the world, and that's why the Indian dishes are very close to Hispanic dishes. And when I say Hispanic, I'm including all of South America, not just like, I'm talking Portugal and everything like that. Or not Portugal, Peru, excuse me.
I know.
But-
I was like, Portugal.
Yeah, wrong continent. No, but if you look at the old maps, our history's backwards, turned upside down, and told to us wrong. It's like that.
History's
That's all.
always written by the victor. So every time there's a new administration, you have new history.
Well, not only is it written for the victor, but it's not always written that the victor is actually the victor. Because, and what I mean by that is, if you can play the victim card,
Right.
you have a lot of power at that point in time.
Yeah.
For instance, if you look at the statistics of people that lived in Europe before and after, the numbers don't make sense. After World War II, like there were less and then there were more after the fact, and it just really does not make sense. But it sure does make dollars.
Yeah, that kind of sense.
Yeah. With
Well, it's all
cilantro,
the same thing.
it's a genetic problem if it tastes like soap to you.
I don't think it tastes like soap to me. I have heard that though, the genetic thing. To me, it's just a weird. I don't know what it is, but it's not soapy. I don't think.
To
Well,
me, it
I think I
tastes
would
like
know if it
lemon
tastes like
joy.
soap because I come from the generation where if you cussed, you got soap in your mouth. So I tasted
Well,
a
that's
lot of soap in my day, and I don't
no,
think
but
cilantro tastes like that.
it tastes like lemon joy,
Lemon joy.
which is dish soap, and you didn't get dish soap put in your mouth. You got bar
Oh,
soap.
well, I mean, I got whatever soap was right there. My parents, though, usually did bar soap because when I got older, they realized liquid soap was better. And then we've pretty much, but I have braces and crooked teeth. So going like that with bar soap was rough. Like there ain't no amount of brushing that can get that out of braces and crooked teeth is bad. Like
Right.
you're tasting soap for a minute.
Or a week.
Yeah, yeah. It's but I'm from where you're from, so like you know what I'm saying. We speak of the same Ohio language.
Are you
I'm
on?
from North Ohio. I was born and raised around Lake Erie.
Oh, well, then you're more classy than where I was raised. Because I was raised like within 20 minutes of my shire. I don't know. Was Zach
You were
in?
in Middletown, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm in the redneck city now, Franklin.
I know, and it was always like a toss up between which one was more ghetto, Franklin or Middletown. It's kind of close.
Well, Franklin was actually voted as the most redneck city in Ohio.
I feel like redneck and hillbilly have different connotations.
Right.
They're
Like
very different.
to
Right.
me,
There's a big difference.
redneck is like you like have more money, like you have four-wheelers and stuff. And to me, hillbilly is like more like ingenuitive. Like I am a hillbilly. Like so like my dad would drink beers and shoot squirrels out of the front tree in the front yard and not care about it. And we never rode four wheelers. We never shot, like, I never shot a gun growing up. I didn't learn until I was like 24 how to shoot a gun. I'd never shot one. And when I come here, everybody uses the term redneck, but I noticed all the rednecks here know how to ride dirt bikes and four wheelers. They all have their own guns. They all have hunting license. Like, I feel like they have more money. Like, I feel like rednecks are like money hillbillies, and
Or
then
dirt
there's
poor.
hillbillies.
Right.
Hillbilly is a term from Appalachia country. It's mountain folk, and you're right, they do need to be more ingenuitive and more off grid per se. And redneck, to me at least, I see where you're coming from with money.
With me, I see redneck as the type that use duct tape for everything, even making dresses.
Rednecks?
Yeah.
I don't know. The rednecks I know have stupid money, like I think, because they have like, okay, the one I'm thinking of in particular, every kid has a four-wheeler and a dirt bike, and they have enough, like, they're like, it's like a mobile home, but you can actually drag it like it's like a trailer, like an RV. There we go. They have like RVs, but like enough for like every single family. Like every single person in their family, they got like their own RV. And I'm like, I don't understand why. They could do the same stuff hillbillies could do. Like the knowledge is sometimes similar, not always. But to me, rednecks are the bougie hillbillies. That's what I think.
Hillbillies
And they're all like, oh, I'm like, you're a bougie hill. Look at like Duck Dynasty.
Well, let's say the
I mean, they got a
hillbillies
lot of
are
skills, but they're
more
kind of
closer to
bougie
the land.
hillbillies. Huh?
To me, hillbillies are more closer to the land. They're more in touch with their
Yeah.
nature.
And you probably have to be.
Whereas
right? You still got money.
hillbillies are the richer ones.
The richer. Oh yeah, no, I know. Steve says hillbillies are undereducated and poor. Now I don't know. They can be.
I think they're
I mean,
overeducated. They just have education that is
it
not standard.
depends. Like I think in Middletown, where I'm from, hillbilly and ghetto, it's kind of the same, right? Like there's certain groups of people you wouldn't necessarily be like, that's a hillbilly. You would be like, that's ghetto. And I fall more in the hillbilly category, but like it's also ghetto too. So same difference. Just yeah. Hillbilly's the same as a hermit. Well,
A
I don't know
hillbilly
about
can
that.
go out in the woods with an axe and come out living without problems.
Maybe. I think it depends on where the hillbilly is. I think
Any of the
I think my
hillbillies I
definition
know.
of hillbilly is ghetto. But like a ghetto white person. And redneck's a bougie white person.
Okay. let's get back to
Ironically, there's
Wednesday.
not much difference between these same terms in different cultures. We all have rednecks. We all have hillbillies. They're just called different things, but they are all the same damn thing. Like all of them are the same.
Yeah, they don't use the term hillbilly is not really used out west. Like where I'm
No,
at in Utah, it's not really used. Everybody says redneck and they use it in the same, it has a different connotation. Like Steve said in the comments, they're both lower class, but hillbillies are lower than redneck. Yeah, but out here nobody uses the term hillbilly. I grew up using the term apparently I mispronounced it. I think it's called a briar hopper, but with a Middletown accent, it sounds like bra hopper. So I thought growing up I was a bra hopper, but I'm not, because that's not a thing. I realized much like within the last 5 or 10 years that it's actually briar. So I went around
that's
my
all that good.
hopper.
Okay, you guys got to listen. You guys got to watch the chat too, because you know they're important.
No, I've been
They're
reading them.
adding feedback.
I've been saying them. Hillbillies don't have
I'm horrible about it.
down. I don't know how to bring them over. I think Verna has to do that.
Yeah.
Oregon has rednecks. Yeah, see, Oregon's like out west too. Yeah.
When I think of the word redneck, I
Versus
think
trailer
of
park is hillbilly.
I think of trailer parks when I think of rednecks, and I think of
But what
the
state are
things
you in?
that I grew up in Western Pennsylvania and Minnesota as well. I've never been in a state, just on a state though.
I can never tell. Like,
I'm not
You
going
mean-
to see out you guys.
I think I know what you mean, but it's always like a fine line of like, did I catch what? Did I pick up what he's putting down? I'm not 100% sure all the time. See, Steve, I think everybody's definition of a hillbilly is just different than mine.
Out in Western Pennsylvania, they have some hillbillies. Like for real, some hillbillies. Those are some ingenious. Like you can't ask them to do mathematics, but you ask them to build a piece of furniture. Oh God, it'll be the nicest piece of furniture, and it came from the tree that they just cut down. You know, like they have practical knowledge.
Yeah, I could
They
see
have
that.
an eye.
I
where
think
math
rednecks
doesn't-
can too, though.
What's that?
I think rednecks can have like valuable knowledge too, though. I think that
It's a different type of knowledge.
I think it's a class thing. I really do.
Whoops.
I would definitely agree that there is different class. We live in a world of classism. They call it different things, but it's really just classism.
Steve says, I'm a redneck, but aspire to be a hillbilly. See, I don't think either one of those are an aspiration. Like, I aspire to be like.
Well,
a
Look at Chris
homesteader.
Carnes. Look at Chris Carnes. He calls himself slightly
That's
redneck.
true. That's true.
It all depends on how you take it.
Yeah,
Redneck.
well, that's true.
Redneck is also a working class individual. The term redneck is literally you got sunburned neck because you're out there in the sun.
Uh-huh.
Oh, see, yeah, no, in my mind, that's not.
Well, that's
I feel
originally how
like
it
the
started.
rednecks are like the ones that I know, I feel like somewhat are like the people that claim they're rednecks are like people that don't know how the ones I've seen out here in Utah that claim to be rednecks don't know how to do anything. Their parent, like their dad might hunt, but they've never shot a gun. So I feel like they kind of take it on like a badge of honor, but they don't know how to do anything.
Yeah, that's just a poser to me.
I'm not called either one of those behind my back. I think I'm called way worse things, but I don't care if someone calls me either one because I'm not going to starve in the upcoming years. So
You can
I
call
don't
me
really care what
whatever you
call me.
want.
You don't call me hungry. That's what.
Yeah, that's what I was just about. You can call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
Well, like we're the ones that are not going to starve. Like, and we're graciously sharing our knowledge with anybody that wants to listen and better themselves so that if there is a situation again where there's like shortages or anything, they are good to go. If the freaking robin's in the front tree and you just happen to have something to knock it down and eat it, you'll be good. That's called a country bumpkin. Okay, maybe I'm that then.
Yeah, that's country bumpkin mentality. See, I personally, I'd rather go out and find, eating robin isn't necessarily my first of choice, to say the least.
I've never actually at QuailCon. I think maybe I'll take the head of this because the next QuailCon we're not supposed to talk about, but Zach's not here, so I'm gonna say what I want. At the next QuailCon, I think we should have a thing, even if it's just for like the admins. But I think it'd be cool if each person brought like okay, maybe not me, because I don't honestly know what I would bring, except maybe my mother-in-law's dog. But like bring a type of meat that like people may not have had. Like I've literally had quail, chicken, and like rabbit, and that's it. I would like to know things like what's a pheasant taste like, what's a chucker taste like, what's a deer taste like if it's not ruined in the oven, like that kind of stuff. Like a squirrel, I would try a squirrel. I didn't get to eat cooties because I was super sick that night and I went home. Like yep. I just disappeared.
I brought the unusual food.
I would eat that though. I don't think I would raise it because I don't think things with fur my kids get too attached to, and I got called a murderer when we started doing the rabbits, and that's why I never processed them. My husband took them, processed them, and then we were done because I was like, I can't sleep at night knowing my kid thinks I'm a murderer. Like, so.
Don't eat bear.
Do what?
Don't eat bear.
Bear?
Why?
Yep. Don't eat bear, and in my opinion, don't eat pork. They contain parasites like really bad.
Oh, pork I don't love. I'll eat bacon occasionally.
I eat pork, but I eat everything well done.
It doesn't kill it.
I ate lots of mulligan stew.
And I don't have parasites yet.
Is mulligan okay? In golf, a mulligan is like a do-over. Like you screwed up that shot and you say you want a mulligan and you do it again. So is a mulligan stew like you super jacked it up? It doesn't sound like it if you said it was good. I don't know what a mulligan stew is.
I think mulligan stew is where you take meat that's already been cooked and then add that into the stew.
So in other words, it's like a leftover stew.
Yeah, if I remember correctly.
I've never had frog legs. I have had alligator. I went to New Orleans and I had alligator balls, which is not what it sounds like. It's meatballs made out of alligator meat. I know. I haven't had a trip to figure out that that's not what they were. And then finally someone was like, it's ground alligator in balls. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, frog legs are good.
I don't know
It kind of
if
tastes.
it's
It
anything
tastes
like
like
a shrimp
chicken.
texture.
No, it has more of a chicken texture,
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, if it's I
but
don't
a
like
little
shrimp.
juicier. So it's like cuy
Mountain
and chicken.
oysters. Ha 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 ha. Do you know how to cook those? Now that's a skill. If you know how to cook mountain oysters, I don't know if Dee's Garden Adventures is male or female, but if it's a woman, I bet the men in your life show you some respect. They know what'll happen if they don't. That's respect. I have never had a mountain oyster. It's the inside, right? It's what's inside.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's what's
I'm trying
inside
to
that
say this in a
counts.
like more discreet way, but it's the inside. But then wouldn't it be like I'm not biting into something that's gonna like pop in my mouth. It's not like a gusher. Nah, bro. No. I don't Maybe if someone tells me how to cook that, I will try on the quail ones. But I don't know. That would be a good YouTube video though. Maybe if I get to like 1,000 subs, I'll do something like eat a quail testicle. Or try balut. But I don't know. Even just saying that out loud makes my stomach go.
Oh, if you like hard-boiled eggs, balutes are great. If you like
Catfish tastes like mud
egg
because
drop
that's what they
soup,
eat.
if you eat egg drop soup in a Chinese restaurant and you like hard-boiled eggs, that's kind of what it tastes like.
I think with quail balut, that's probably true. I guarantee you it's not the same with duck balut because duck eggs are massive.
And
My
rubbery.
husband had that on his mission for our church in Washington, D.C. And you just don't, like, as a missionary, if someone feeds you, you eat what they feed you. Like, you're polite like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, He was like, it was horrible. Like, I think especially if you don't know what end you're biting into. Do you imagine biting into the feet and then the head pops up and is like staring at you?
You know why they give missionaries stuff that to eat like that?
You said you know why?
Yeah,
Why?
it's because they're gonna eat what's in front of them. So you're gonna figure out whatever you don't ever want to try and do it to them.
I think some people do that. We don't with ours. Like, and honestly, the missionaries where I'm at in Central Utah get fed real good because a lot of us are members. So like they get fed real good. They're the chunky ones. Like they don't ride they usually have a car and stuff because there's a lot of mountains. So the Provo missionaries are well fed boys. But yeah,
And
no.
see, I look at that. If all right, and take this how you want. It is, like I'm not looking to be offensive. However, if you're reading that book, right?
Oh, no.
That book has a specific diet that is prescribed so that you are not obese in any way, shape, or form, but in fact, much the opposite, where it talks about, like in Timothy, be ready in season and out of season because you don't know when the season is. And that means you need to be fit. Like there's more meanings than just that, obviously, but nevertheless, we live in a realm that has three aspects to it: body, mind, and spirit. And they all correlate. So being ready in season and out of season has attributes to all three of those.
That's preparedness.
Right. And if you're a big boy and I'm talking about, your average trip to Walmart.
I'm confused how we went this direction. Oh yeah, no.
Like, I don't mean to be offensive. Like, I don't know you guys like that.
If you're in America serving a mission for our church, then you're more well fed than you would be somewhere else. Like, like the Philippines.
And see, I look at that
You're not getting
and
full on balut. You're looking
right.
for the next McDonald's.
I just look at that and I say to myself, you know, being well fed is one thing. However, if you're on a missions, you need to be in at least in my opinion, you need to be agile. You're on a mission, like much like a military mission. You go in with your MREs, you eat the minimum and you do the job you're put there to do. So I don't know.
She's having internet problems right now.
She's on a mission.
No, she's having internet
No.
problems right now.
Yeah, that's the mission, having internet problems. No.
You guys, I'm eating chocolate chips. Hey, Katrina. Somebody was looking, did you have no baby bunnies? You may have a customer looking for rabbits when you have them. Sent from us.
Are you talking to me?
No, Katrina.
Oh. If anybody's in the Minnesota area and wants a couple of free rabbits, I'll give them to them.
Oh, her computer died. She didn't have it plugged in.
We were talking about preparedness. See, be ready in season and out of season, or your computer dies.
Here she is.
Did you hear me? Oh, now she's muted.
You're muted still.
That's quality. Quality broadcasting.
That's why I was rolling my eyes when I came back on. I heard you. I hear you. I hear you.
Ironically, it fit into the conversation very well.
Yep.
If you don't mind me asking, what church are you in? Or do you belong to, what church are you affiliated with or belong to, or if you don't mind me asking?
Me?
Yes.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay. LDS?
Yes.
I'm familiar. You guys have some interesting teachings. I can appreciate some of your information. I can't appreciate it all, but nevertheless.
I'm a convert, so I joined when I was 22. And so my family I married into is like born and raised. So
right.
I grew up Baptist. I do.
I grew up Baptist, but I don't honestly, after doing my due diligence, I don't buy into much, like at all. You know, and if I do have something, it's got to be backed by 2 or 3 witnesses that have been there firsthand, you know, like, I don't know. I know how people are, and I know how history is written. I've done a lot of research and everything like that. And with my research, what I have personally found is that there is more probability that the New Testament was written by Josephus prominently and then backed up by...
Wait, stop. Please, let's get off religion.
Oh, this isn't religion, but sure.
Yeah, when we're talking about religion and...
I'm talking about history. It just happens to be about that aspect, but that's fair enough.
Uh-huh. So far, I have 2, and it's raining right now, Katrina.
You're getting snow?
No, saffron flowers.
Oh. How do you grow those?
They're crocuses.
I understand they're crocuses, but what I'm saying is, do you just grow them in normal soil?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I wonder if I could do those in aquaponics.
That would be interesting to find out.
Do you play music to your plants?
No, they get quail songs.
Yes, 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 and that would do the same thing. Huh. Very interesting. I've thought about growing those once I've got property and figuring out how to do it. I haven't
think you can
spent
do it.
much time.
Your hybrid plants, I think you can do it like you do your hybrids.
Right. Yeah, that system is working out really well. Because I can fertilize the top, and then it's also getting the nutrients from the fish waste and the worm waste because there's worms in those beds.
Hmm.
So that it's multiple different, I'm pulling off a lot of nutrients. I don't know if you saw the duckweed in the corner.
Yeah,
It's
I saw
the
the
biggest,
duckweed.
it's the biggest, boldest, greenest duckweed that I've grown. And it feeds quite a bit of the the need for protein for my goldfish. That's why they look like cattle.
Yeah, my duckweed did not do good because I just had it in a bucket with nothing in it.
Ah, yeah.
So it lasted for a while, for about a month, and then it died. It just disappeared overnight.
It's interesting how duckweed appears overnight and disappears overnight.
Yeah, and it's smaller than something I want to handle for my quail.
Yeah, when you're using it for a food source, it takes quite a bit of uh, growing. Like there, you really
Yeah.
need a lot of fertilizer, i.e., fish waste or some form of waste in that water. But when it kicks, it kicks. Like I had that big long tank. I didn't have as much movement in the water. And I let the water get pretty dirty as an experiment to see how dirty I could get the water with the fish still surviving, and then also um, how much nutrients the plants that I had in there, specifically the duckweed, was pulling. And it went quite a while, and it never killed the fish. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna add I think I'm gonna add another couple of growing beds, and it's really going to reduce the amount of waste that I'll have at the end of the cleaning process.
Hmm.
And I'm also going to set up my beds a little bit different. I'm going to create a box that takes the majority of the waste and filters it through the rock, and that's where my worms are going to be prominently. Because that way it's not a lot of water, but I can filter it through a thin slip and give it a lot of room so it doesn't drown the
You know,
worms.
Nubs, you can grow potatoes in hydroponics.
I have heard that you can do potatoes in aquaponics and hydroponics.
Yeah. You just have to figure it out how much air roots you have in order to do it. So you could probably do the crocuses in hydroponics. You just have to know
Yeah.
how far down to put the water.
But you're not doing anything.
So have you guys got your Christmas shopping done? I haven't even started yet.
I was done a couple years ago. It's been great.
Oh, that doesn't count.
It's been great. It saved me all sorts of money planning ahead.
I mean, we don't go like crazy, but like I have 2 little kids, so we
Well, see, I don't have. My family is Hartkin, and I've got their presents done. Last year, I crocheted them all booties. This year, I
oh,
bought
that's
presents.
cute. You crochet? I didn't know that.
I do a lot of things you don't know.
I can crochet, but I learned from somebody and not how to read a pattern. So I need to like learn how to read a pattern.
I can teach you that.
Oh, that would be awesome. Because I love doing it. And I learned how to do I think it's called a loom, where you just do this with the string and then you take the little needle and go like this. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I think looming is more like knitting though. Like the after product looks more like a knit. But
Yeah,
I can knit. I can
knit
arm
looms.
knit.
Yeah.
I can't do it with needles though. I don't know why I couldn't understand it that way. So I got really fat.
I can't stand knitting because it takes too long to see any progress.
That's true. That's true. Crochet is a lot, I feel like, faster. I don't know. I learned crochet first, but I haven't learned how to read a pattern, and I want to because I want to make the little characters for my kids, and they come with little patterns and stuff. But I'm like, I don't know how to read the pattern. And then I gotta like go on YouTube and try to remember how to do it.
What's with everybody in root canals? Root canal.
Can you hear that?
You know, it'd be
I'm not
interesting to see changing the material that you're crocheting with to like a paracord type material. It'd be interesting to see how that kind of
That's how you make ham hocks.
30 degrees out there.
Hammocks.
You have to use a bigger needle, I feel like.
Yeah, hang on, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Thick.
I'm
I
saying
can
for
use your
different
hand.
applications.
Yeah.
I'm saying for different applications altogether, you know, like custom furniture. Do a crochet, expand it out, and then put fiberglass resin over it. And so that it's
Oh no, not with fiberglass for me.
or not fiberglass resin, but
Acrylic resin.
yeah, acrylic resin. You could do a fiberglass.
I know. I heard fiberglass. I started itching. I'm like, oh no.
Well, fiberglass can come in strings, and you just wear gloves. I mean, it's still arts and
Yeah, but
crafts.
you
It's
also
just
have the chance of breathing it.
well, you have a respirator, or go outside and
No,
redneck
you
it.
have to have a respirator. Because
Well,
the glass fibers get into your lung, and that's not good.
I've worked in fiberglass facilities, and I've also done it outdoors. Outdoors, I don't really have a problem without a respirator. Normally, I just wear a rag or something, and I
You
hold
know,
my breath a lot.
Katrina, that's true. The individual powders or even diced ingredients, freeze dried, will last a long time, and you can still make things out of it. But STSF.
Yeah, when I make the quail egg stuff for like Ed showed me, you're supposed to like have a lot of ventilation because it's not good to breathe in that stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
it's not a
cool.
great idea.
Good morning, Sue.
I just finished up a landscaping project where I did a brick patio. And as I was cutting, that was fun. Cutting block is always very, very fun. It's very dusty. And normally you do it on nice warm days where you can, you know, put water down, but it's like maybe 40 degrees here. and we should have been done with this project a couple of weeks ago. But yeah,
Don, you have a
so that
birthday,
was
dear.
have a good one.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. It was an interesting cut, this one, to say the least, but the patio turned out beautiful.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Are
I gotta
you
go
gonna-
take care of my
Are you
critters.
going to leave yourself running?
I don't know how to unrun it.
Okay, we'll let your channel run and gather the hours.
Okay. I was like, yeah, I don't know how to unrun it, and it
You
did
have
last
to click.
time.
You have to. You see the K with the check mark?
Mm-hmm.
You have to click that in order to stop running it.
It just says edit or remove.
You say remove.
Oh, but it'll keep the stream up, but it'll stop here.
No. To that, you just leave the studio, and we'll just keep you running until I'm done.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I gotta go get the heat gun to the waters because it dropped below 30, so I know that they froze. So, my hillbilly hack. It works
You
really
have a
good.
blessed day, cuz.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna run too. I got some stuff I need to get taken care of.
Well,
So
you have a
there's
blessed day, and thank you for your knowledge, Nubs.
Yep, my pleasure, my pleasure. Have a great one. See you
You
later,
too, dear.
Chad.
Oh, we still got 10 people in here. Yeah, so earlier, Katrina, I showed a black and white broken, and I showed a blue broken. Now I'm going to go and grab another one and see which one we show this time. If there's any out. Hey, Mama. No, the same two are out. The other ones are hiding. I'm not going to pull them out of the nest. And the nest is too flimsy for me to carry away from the cage. Because then I'd have rabbits all over the place and Lucy would have lunch. Yeah, so I have a blue broken, a lavender broken, and a black and white broken. I have a blue and a lavender solids. Those are the colors I know for sure. She says she didn't have any kits yet, unless they're born since she started today. I know, it's not that. I'm trying to respect Mama and I'm trying to respect the babies that are nervous. I'm giving them a few days until I take out the nest box. I still have 7 bunnies. Yep. Fat and sassy. There you go, Buster. What day is today, Katrina? Well, I am thinking about going ahead and breeding Smoky. But I'm going to wait until I get all the quail processed that I'm going to process. Okay. Do you usually wait until day 35, Katrina? Just in case? Or are you going to put them with the new buck before then? Oh, you wait until 35. Okay. That's what I thought you said before. I got my desk together. I didn't get the computer moved over there yet. Today's December 9th. And it's day 32 for Katrina. So on the 12th, if she doesn't have kits, she knows that it's a good thing she's got the new buck, the unnamed buck. Yeah, all the parts are there. I have one part to put on it. By the time I got it built yesterday, because you make a few mistakes, you have to go and correct it when you find out. When I went to bed last night, I was so sore afterwards. I kept waking up in pain last night. I got very little sleep. So this morning, I didn't feel like moving the computer over to the desk. I think what'll happen is I'll take a nap this afternoon to get back into shape. Because I still feel like I've been ran over with a Mack truck. And all the parts are there. And it's a beautiful desk. I got it made exactly the way I want it. Well, with me, Andy, I don't have to breed that quickly. I can wait until till my bunnies are at least 4 weeks old, if not older, before I breed them. Before I breed the mamas again. I think you have to be careful with Amazon because this package I got straight from the buyer. All the parts were in plastic. The one I got from Amazon was not in plastic. And it had the C section missing. I may bring my fig tree out to put on my desk. I might. because that's right in front of a window. I gotta show you guys an update on my fig trees and my lemongrass, and I still have to transplant them. So many things to do, and there's only so many hours in a day. Yeah, it's a black desk, and it's right beside my bed. So I have to get my bed cleaned off because I got all the spare parts from all the other desks that need to be thrown away. You have a blessed day, TM. I need to weigh the mamas, and I got to figure out a way to do that. The mama rabbits, the does. Andy or Katrina, have you ever weighed your rabbits? And Katrina, I showed one of my spooky hatch Egyptian fees, and it was a roo. The top of its head was dark, and it didn't have any spots on its chest. Not the adults. At what size are your rabbits, Katrina, when you process them? The herd with rabbits, 60% of live weight is what you get when you process them. Oh, they're more than cute. They're adorable. Let me go see if I can grab one. And I'll show it to you guys again. The only ones I seen out of the box earlier were the black broken and the blue broken. Hey, Mama. Yes, I'll pet you first. Yeah. I'm going to steal one of your babies. I can get it out of there. Oh. Okay, you guys, I'm bringing you a blue. And this is the one that jumped out of my arm last time, out of my hand last time. Okay, let me see if I can do this safely. That's blue, a solid blue. Okay, I'm gonna go put him back in the cage. There we go. See, I got some pretty colors. I got about almost every color you could have. See, I need to find out how big my does are so that I know what size to process my kits at. See, Katrina, there's your advertisement. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to put them in a box and put the box on the scale, and hopefully they don't jump out of the box. So it's going to be interesting. But before I could put 4 babies in my hand, now I can barely hold one in one hand. And that blue I had dug out of the nest box. It was on the bottom. And I grabbed it by the belly, by the facing backwards. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a grass mat down when I take the nest box out and put them all on the grass mat and see if that'll last 24 hours or not. Well, I think we're going to end now unless anybody has any more comments or questions. Because we've been running Almost 3 hours. Yeah. A box with a lid. Close up that lid. Well, they're big enough I can just keep my hands on them. Well, everyone have a blessed day. And I will see you Monday night at Katrina's live stream. Buster, you have a blessed day too. And then I'll see you back here Wednesday. I don't have a cat carrier. I could always make a small wire cage. But y'all have a blessed day.